Living in Brookhaven Estates was supposed to be peaceful. I bought my house a few years ago, thinking it was the perfect place to settle down. The HOA was strict, but nothing I couldn't handle until I met Karen Whitmore. She wasn't just on the HOA board. She was the HOA board. Karen loved rules. Karen loved power. Karen hated me. Why? Because I had the audacity to install security cameras around my home. She claimed they were intrusive. She said they violated the aesthetic harmony of the neighborhood. She even sent formal complaints demanding I remove them. But the truth? Karen didn't like being watched. Because she was used to getting away with everything. And she had no idea I was about to catch her in the act. The first warning letter arrived on a Monday morning. Notice of violation. Dear homeowner, your use of excessive security cameras violates HOA policy #14, be regarding neighborhood aesthetics. Please remove all visible cameras immediately or face escalating fines. Sincerely, Karen Whitmore, HOA President. I laughed out loud. Karen was making things up. There was no rule against security cameras. So, I responded formally. Dear Karen, I reviewed the HOA policies and found no restrictions on home security cameras. My cameras are legally installed. I will not be removing them. Have a great day. Sincerely, your favorite neighbor. She didn't like that. The next day, she sent another letter. Then, a fine notice. Then, she started knocking on my door, demanding I comply with the community spirit. But I wasn't backing down. And that's when Karen took things too far. One night, around 2 a.m., my phone buzzed. Motion detected, front porch camera. I checked the live feed. And there she was. Karen, standing on my porch, with a ladder. I sat up in bed, heart pounding. She climbed up. She ripped the camera off the wall. She stuffed it in a bag and climbed down. Then, she moved to my driveway camera. Yanked it down. Took my side gate camera. One by one, she stole every visible camera. And when she was done, she walked away like nothing happened. I stared at my phone. Karen thought she won. She had no idea I had a hidden backup camera watching everything. And now? I had all the evidence I needed. I woke up early, checked my hidden backup footage. It was perfect. Crystal clear video of Karen trespassing, ripping down cameras, and walking away like she owned the place. This wasn't a simple HOA dispute anymore. This was criminal. So, I made 3 calls. To the police. To my lawyer. To the HOA board. Karen was about to have the worst day of her life. That evening, the HOA had its monthly meeting at the community clubhouse. I walked in early and set up a laptop with my footage ready to play. Karen arrived late, looking smug. She had no idea what was coming. The meeting started with small complaints. Then, the HOA president turned to me. You had something to bring up, correct? I nodded. Yes, I'd like to discuss a serious violation. Karen's smile twitched. I pulled up the footage and hit play. The room went silent. On screen, Karen climbed onto my porch. Karen ripped down my camera. Karen stuffed it in a bag. Karen trespassed across my property like a common thief. Gasps. Karen's face drained of color. I let the footage play in full. Then, I turned to Karen. Would you like to explain this? She stammered. This is taken out of context. I raised an eyebrow. What's the context of breaking into my property at 2 a.m. and stealing my cameras? The HOA president turned to Karen, shocked. Karen, you trespassed? She tried to deny it. I was simply removing a violation. The HOA president sighed. Karen, you're not law enforcement. This is a serious crime. Then I dropped the final bombshell. Oh, and by the way, the police have already been notified. Karen's jaw dropped. Her hands started shaking. Then, as if on cue, a police officer walked into the room. Officer Reynolds, a local cop, stepped forward. Karen Whitmore? Karen froze. Why, yes. You're being charged with trespassing, vandalism, and theft. You need to come with me. The room erupted into whispers. Karen turned to the HOA board. You can't let them do this. I was protecting the community. The HOA president sighed. Karen, we don't have any rules against security cameras. You made that up. And now you're facing real consequences. Karen's face turned red. This isn't fair. Officer Reynolds crossed his arms. You can explain that to the judge. Karen? She had no choice. She was escorted out of the meeting in front of everyone. And just like that, Karen lost. Karen pleaded guilty in court. She had to pay for all my damaged equipment, cover my legal fees, step down as HOA president. And the best part? She was banned from HOA leadership forever. Brookhaven? Finally free from Karen's tyranny. My cameras? Back up and running. And Karen? Let's just say, she never messed with me again. A few months later, Karen's house went up for sale. She moved away in disgrace. And Brookhaven was finally peaceful. One evening, I sat on my back porch, watching my cameras work perfectly. Tom walked by, laughing. Think she'll ever come back? I smirked. Doesn't matter. I raised my beer. Because no matter what she tries, Karen will always lose. And with that, we toasted to a Karen-free world. For 6 months, Brookhaven was peaceful. No Karen. No surprise fines. No HOA dictatorship. Karen had moved away, her house sold to a quiet, normal couple. Life was good. Then one day, Tom knocked on my door, looking pale. Dude, have you seen next door? I frowned. No, why? He handed me his phone. And when I read the post, my stomach dropped. The post was from a new account. Brookhaven is falling apart without strong leadership. I have lived here for years and have watched the decline firsthand. Property values are at risk. We need new rules. Who's with me? At first, I thought, no way. It can't be her. Then I saw the username. Karen W. 1973. Tom groaned. She's back. Linda, who had been reading over my shoulder, nearly choked on her coffee. She moved out. She can't legally make HOA rules anymore. Tom sighed. Yeah, but she's still trying. And she's already got a few people agreeing with her. I clenched my jaw. Karen might have lost control of the HOA, but she was still trying to rule from the shadows. And we had to shut her down. For the next few weeks, weird things started happening. Anonymous complaint letters started showing up on doors. People got emails claiming Brookhaven was falling apart. The HOA board started getting pressure to reinstate Karen. Karen was running a campaign. She wanted back in. And then we got a letter in the mail. Notice of special HOA meeting. Dear residents, due to recent concerns about the state of our community, we are hosting a vote to determine new leadership. Please attend. Your voice matters. Sincerely. Concerned homeowners. Linda scoffed. Concerned homeowners. That's so obviously Karen. Tom shook his head. We need to stop this before she tricks people into giving her power again. I grinned. Oh, don't worry. I have a plan. The community clubhouse was packed for the meeting. Karen, smug as ever, sat in the front row, wearing a crisp blazer like she was running for office. The HOA president cleared his throat. We're here to discuss concerns about Brookhaven's leadership. Would anyone like to speak? Karen immediately stood up. Yes, I would. She pulled out a folder, flipping through pages. Over the past year, we've seen an increase in rule breaking. Holiday decorations are excessive. Noise complaints have skyrocketed. The HOA board is too weak. Some people nodded. Tom muttered, she's manipulating them. Karen smiled. That is why I propose we reinstate stronger leadership. Someone with experience. Someone who understands discipline. She turned to the HOA president. I would like to nominate myself for HOA president again. The room whispered. Then I stood up. Karen, remind me, why did you leave Brookhaven? Karen's eye twitched. I moved for personal reasons. I pulled out my phone. Because according to court records, you were banned from HOA leadership after you trespassed on my property and destroyed my security cameras. Gasps. Karen's face turned red. That's irrelevant. I grinned. Oh no, it's very relevant. Because legally, you can't even be on this ballot. The HOA president sighed. He's right, Karen. You're not eligible. Karen froze. Then, she did what she always did. She snapped. This community is a disaster without me. You people don't understand leadership. This neighborhood is ruined. Tom laughed. Karen, you don't even live here anymore. The HOA president turned to Karen. A mess. Whitmore, you are formally banned from attending future HOA meetings. If you attempt another takeover, we will press charges. Karen's jaw dropped. She turned, looking for support. But the room had gone silent. Her own supporters backed away. And finally, Karen stormed out. For the last time. After Karen's public meltdown, the HOA did 3 things. Sent a formal notice to every homeowner reminding them Karen had no power. Blocked her from all HOA communications. Filed a cease and desist order preventing her from interfering. Karen? She finally gave up. Her Nextdoor account disappeared. Her anonymous letters stopped. Her influence was dead. For good. 6 months later, Brookhaven was better than ever. No Karen. No HOA tyranny. No more unnecessary fines. And my cameras? Still standing. One evening, I sat on my back porch, beer in hand. Tom walked up, grinning. Think she'll ever try again? I chuckled. Doesn't matter. I raised my beer. Because no matter what she tries, Karen will always lose. And with that, we toasted. To a Karen-free world. For a whole year, Brookhaven thrived. No Karen. No unnecessary HOA fines. No suspicious 2 a.m. ladder incidents. Life was normal. I could park my car without a warning notice. I could decorate for Christmas without HOA threats. I could sit on my porch without feeling watched. For the first time in years, I thought, maybe we finally won. And then, a black SUV pulled into Karen's old driveway. Tom was the first to see it. No. Tell me that's not. Then, the driver's door opened. A tall woman, power suit, clipboard in hand, stepped out. Linda nearly dropped her coffee. Oh my God. She sent a replacement. The woman marched straight to the nearest neighbor and started asking questions. Who's in charge of the HOA now? What are the current compliance standards? Has the neighborhood maintained order? I overheard the conversation and walked up. Can I help you? She smiled stiffly. Yes. I'm Stephanie Whitmore. I work with the Whitmore estate. Tom muttered under his breath. Oh, come on. I forced a smile. And what brings you to Brookhaven, Stephanie? Her smile didn't waver. My dear Aunt Karen always spoke about this community. She was very concerned about the lack of leadership. Linda crossed her arms. Karen was banned from the HOA for trespassing. Stephanie tilted her head. That's one interpretation. I sighed. Cut to the chase, Stephanie. Why are you really here? She tapped her clipboard. I'm here to revitalize Brookhaven. I've acquired my aunt's former home, and I have plans. Tom groaned. Oh God. It's happening again. Within a week, Stephanie was everywhere. She attended HOA meetings. She filed paperwork for neighborhood reforms. She proposed stricter rules on everything from lawn colors to acceptable porch furniture. It was Karen 2.0. And this time, it was even worse. Because Stephanie wasn't emotional like Karen. She was calculated. She wasn't leaving angry voicemails. She was sending professional emails. She wasn't storming out of meetings. She was collecting signatures. And after 2 months, she had real support. Enough to propose an official HOA policy change. We had to stop her before it was too late. The meeting room was full. Stephanie stood at the front, smiling like she had already won. Ladies and gentlemen, she began, flipping through her PowerPoint slides. Proposal for a stronger Brookhaven. Standardized landscaping rules. Enforced property value maintenance. Fines for unauthorized security cameras. My head snapped up. Excuse me, what? Stephanie smiled. Security cameras disrupt the visual integrity of the neighborhood. They create an unwelcoming atmosphere. Linda muttered. She's literally bringing back Karen's old vendetta. Stephanie continued. With a new and improved HOA compliance committee, we can restore order to Brookhaven. Then, she turned to the HOA president. I propose we vote on this immediately. I stood up. Stephanie, do you even live here? Her smile twitched. Technically, my estate owns property here. Tom scoffed. So you don't even live in the house you bought? Silence. Then, Linda grinned. Oh my God. You're an absentee HOA dictator. The HOA board started whispering. The president sighed. Ms. Whitmore, I don't think the community wants this. Stephanie's smile faded. Oh, but I think they do. She pulled out a stack of signatures. As you can see, I have support for a leadership change. I leaned forward. Where did you get those signatures, Stephanie? She hesitated. Then, Tom laughed. You paid people, didn't you? Stephanie's jaw clenched. Then, I pulled out my own paperwork. Well, funny thing, because we collected signatures too. And over 80% of the neighborhood just signed a petition to ban you from HOA leadership. The HOA board read the petition. Then, the president smiled. Well, that settles it. He turned to Stephanie. Ms. Whitmore, you are permanently disqualified from HOA involvement. Effective immediately. Stephanie's face turned white. You can't do that. Tom smirked. Oh, we absolutely can. Linda crossed her arms. And just like that, the last Whitmore loses again. Stephanie stood there stunned. Then, she did what all Whitmores do. She stormed out. And just like that, Brookhaven was safe. Again. 1 month later, Stephanie's house went up for sale. She left town quietly. No letters. No emails. No last-minute HOA takeover attempts. The Whitmore dynasty? Completely. Totally. Officially. Dead. For the first time in years, Brookhaven was truly normal. No Karen. No surprise fines. No HOA tyranny. And my security cameras? Still standing. One evening, I sat on my back porch, beer in hand. Tom walked up, grinning. Think there are any more Whitmores left? James Whitmore, our cool neighbor, laughed. If there are, trust me, they won't be coming here. Linda smirked. Brookhaven is officially Whitmore-proofed. We all raised our drinks. To a Karen-free world. And with that, the Whitmore era ended. For the first time in years, Brookhaven was normal. No Karen. No Stephanie. No shady HOA takeovers. Even next door was quiet. It felt like we finally won. Then, one morning, I got a certified letter in the mail. I opened it and nearly fell over laughing. The letter was from Whitmore Property Holdings, LLC. Dear homeowner, we are reaching out regarding an exciting new opportunity. Whitmore Property Holdings is launching an exclusive community development program. As a valued resident, you may qualify for our Brookhaven Renewal Initiative. Optional new HOA bylaws. Premium neighborhood services. Enhanced security and compliance. We look forward to working together for a better future. Sincerely. Whitmore Property Holdings, LLC. I stared at the letter. Then, I called James Whitmore. Hey, did you know your family is still trying to take over this place? James groaned. You've got to be kidding me. Linda, who had been reading over my shoulder, nearly choked on her coffee. They're still trying. After 7 failed attempts. Tom folded his arms. This isn't even HOA tyranny anymore. This is a cult. James sighed. Give me 24 hours. I'll handle it. I had no idea what he meant. But the next day, the Whitmore name was erased from Brookhaven. James called me the next morning. It's done. What's done? The Whitmores are out of Brookhaven forever. James had filed an official cease and desist against Whitmore Property Holdings, revoked all Whitmore real estate claims in Brookhaven, liquidated the last of their local assets, and with one final legal document, the Whitmore family was officially banned from ever managing property in Brookhaven again. No HOA takeovers. No secret letters. No last-minute attempts to rewrite rules. It was over. For real. For the first time ever, Brookhaven was truly, permanently safe. No HOA dictatorships. No surprise policy changes. Number 2 a.m. ladder incidents. And my security cameras? Still standing. One evening, I sat on my back porch, beer in hand. Tom walked up, shaking his head. So, think this is finally it? James smirked. Legally? They can never come back. Linda grinned. So we actually won? I raised my beer. We actually won. And with that, we toasted. To Brookhaven. To a Whitmore-free world. To finally winning. Brookhaven was finally peaceful. No HOA drama. No surprise rule changes. No late-night Karen operations. We thought it was over. Then, one morning, James called me. His voice was serious. We have a problem. I sighed. What now? James sent me a screenshot of an email. From Whitmore and Associates, LLC. Subject: Legal Notice. Mr. Whitmore. We are filing a defamation lawsuit against you and select homeowners of Brookhaven Estates for damage to the Whitmore family reputation. If this matter is not resolved, we will be forced to take further legal action. Sincerely. Whitmore and Associates legal team. Tom read the email over my shoulder. They're suing us for hurting their feelings? Linda groaned. So instead of an HOA takeover, they're going for litigation warfare? I sighed. Time to call my lawyer. A month later, we found ourselves in small claims court. The Whitmore family attorney was a middle-aged man with a permanent scowl. The judge glanced at the lawsuit. Let me get this straight. You're claiming the defendants ruined your family's reputation. The attorney nodded. Yes, Your Honor. My clients have suffered emotional distress due to defamatory statements made against them in this community. The judge turned to us. And how do you respond? I smiled. Your Honor, their emotional distress was caused by their own actions. We have police reports, HOA complaints, and video evidence of their behavior. The judge raised an eyebrow. You have video evidence? I nodded. Oh yes, Your Honor. Let me show you. I pulled out a USB drive and played the greatest hits of the Whitmore family. Karen stealing my cameras. Eleanor's HOA tantrum. Stephanie's fake petition scam. William's attempt to privatize Brookhaven. The courtroom was silent. Then, the judge sighed. This lawsuit is nonsense. Case dismissed. The Whitmore attorney gritted his teeth. But Your Honor. I said case dismissed. And just like that, the last Whitmore attempt to reclaim Brookhaven was destroyed. For good. After the case, James took one final step. He contacted the city. And in less than a week, Brookhaven officially became a Whitmore-free zone. The Whitmore family was banned from ever holding HOA positions. Their corporate influence was dissolved. Their legal claims were voided. It was finally over. For real. Brookhaven thrived in the years that followed. No HOA dictators. No fines over mailbox colors. No midnight ladder incidents. And my security cameras? Still standing. One evening, I sat on my back porch, beer in hand. Tom walked by, laughing. So, what do we do if another Whitmore ever shows up? James smirked. Legally? They can't. Linda grinned. Brookhaven is officially Whitmore-proofed. I raised my beer. To a Karen-free, Whitmore-free world. And with that, the Whitmore era truly ended. Brookhaven had been peaceful for 2 years. No HOA coups. No fake violation notices. No surprise lawsuits. Then, one morning, James knocked on my door. His face was pale. You're not gonna believe this. I sighed. Try me. James handed me a letter. Dear Brookhaven residents, we are pleased to inform you that the Whitmore Family Legacy Foundation is launching a new historical preservation initiative in your neighborhood. As part of this effort, we are offering to buy select homes to restore Brookhaven to its former elegance. If you receive this letter, your home has been chosen for purchase. Please respond promptly. Sincerely. The Whitmore Family Legacy Foundation. Linda read the letter over my shoulder. Oh my God. They're trying to gentrify us. Tom groaned. They never stop. Why do they never stop? James sighed. I thought I killed the dynasty. I smirked. Looks like we have one more round left. We dug into the Whitmore Family Legacy Foundation. And what did we find? No real nonprofit status. No legal paperwork. No actual funding. It was a front. A fake organization designed to pressure homeowners into selling their houses. Stephanie was behind it. Her plan? Buy up Brookhaven homes. convert them into high-end rentals, slowly take back the neighborhood. It was a slow-motion HOA takeover. We had to shut it down. Fast. James made a few calls. 1 week later, the mayor's office sent out an official public notice. Attention Brookhaven residents. The Whitmore Family Legacy Foundation is not a registered entity. If you receive a purchase offer, please be advised it is not legally binding. Any further attempts at misleading homeowners will be met with legal consequences. Sincerely, the Office of the Mayor. Within days, the fake Whitmore letters stopped. And Stephanie? She was forced to shut down the scam. For good. After one last failure, Stephanie disappeared. Her house went up for sale. Her company dissolved. Her Nextdoor account was deleted. And the Whitmore family was finally, completely, permanently done. Brookhaven? Whitmore-proofed forever. Years passed. No HOA dictators. No fake policies. No surprise lawsuits. And my security cameras? Still standing. One evening, I sat on my back porch, beer in hand. Tom walked up, shaking his head. So, what if another Whitmore tries something in, 10 years? James laughed. I legally made it impossible. Linda grinned. Brookhaven is officially a Whitmore-free zone. I raised my beer. To a Karen-free, Whitmore-free world. And with that, the Whitmore era truly ended. Brookhaven had been Whitmore-free for years. No HOA coups. No fake violation letters. No insane lawsuits. James single-handedly ensured no Whitmore could ever return. Or so we thought. Then one morning, Tom sent me a screenshot. From a local real estate website. For sale, luxury home in Brookhaven. Formerly owned by the esteemed Whitmore family. A rare opportunity to live in a prestigious neighborhood with great community values. Listed by Whitmore and Sons Realty Group. I nearly spit out my coffee. Oh, come on. Linda groaned. How many of them are there? Tom folded his arms. I think we just found the final boss. We did some digging. And we found him. Alexander Whitmore. A real estate mogul from another state. And he had one goal. Buy back a Whitmore property. Move in. Start over. This wasn't just another takeover attempt. This was a full-blown Whitmore comeback. And we were not letting it happen. We knew what was coming. If Alexander moved in, he would find a loophole to get on the HOA board. Change the rules to bring back Whitmore control. Undo everything we fought for. We had to stop the sale. So, we called in a favor. From the mayor. The mayor wasn't surprised to hear from us. A Whitmore? Again? Good Lord. We showed her the listing. The mayor sighed. Well, lucky for you. I can block the sale. I blinked. Wait, what? She smiled. Brookhaven has an HOA policy that allows community approval on high-profile home sales. Since the Whitmores were legally banned from HOA leadership, we can deny this purchase on that basis alone. Tom grinned. So we can vote him out before he even moves in? The mayor nodded. Exactly. We called for an emergency HOA meeting. Alexander showed up. A tall, gray-haired businessman, expensive suit, fake politician smile. I just want to invest in this beautiful community. The HOA president cleared his throat. Mr. Whitmore, our records show your family has been legally barred from HOA leadership. This sale is subject to community approval. Alexander laughed. Oh, I assure you, I have no interest in HOA politics. Tom smirked. That's what all of you say. Then, the vote happened. And in less than 5 minutes, the sale was denied. Alexander was forced to walk away. Brookhaven was finally, permanently safe. For real. After the vote, Alexander stormed out. A week later, the listing was taken down. The house was sold to a normal family. And every Whitmore connection to Brookhaven was officially erased. Forever. No HOA tyranny. No insane rule changes. No Whitmore comeback attempts. And my security cameras? Still standing. One evening, I sat on my back porch, beer in hand. Tom walked by, laughing. Think we'll ever see another Whitmore? James smirked. Not a chance. I made sure of it. Linda grinned. Brookhaven is permanently Whitmore-proofed. I raised my beer. to a Karen-free, Whitmore-free world. And with that, Brookhaven had been Whitmore-free for nearly a decade. No HOA coups. No fake rule changes. No secret takeovers. We were finally at peace. Until one morning. I checked my security cameras and saw a moving truck pulling into Karen's old driveway. Linda ran up to my porch, out of breath. Tell me you saw it. Tom stumbled out of his house, still wearing pajamas. I think I'm having a stroke. We stood in silence, watching the new neighbor step out of the truck. A woman in her 30s. Sharp haircut. Clipboard in hand. Then she turned. And we saw the name embroidered on her moving company uniform. Whitmore Moving and Storage. Tom fell to his knees. No. Nua. Linda gasped. Is this their final form? I stared at the new neighbor. And she smiled. Then she walked over to introduce herself. She held out her hand. Hi there. I'm Ashley Whitmore. Just moved in. Tom whimpered. The bloodline continues. Linda was shaking. We thought we erased them. I forced a smile. So, any relation to the other Whitmores? Ashley laughed. Oh yeah, Karen was my great-aunt. I've heard so many stories about this place. Tom grabbed my arm. Bro, do something. I took a deep breath. Ashley, quick question. Are you, into HOA leadership? She waved her hand dismissively. Oh no. That's all old-school nonsense. Linda exhaled. Oh, thank God. Ashley grinned. I prefer to call it community quality enhancement. Tom's eye twitched. What does that mean? Ashley smiled wider. You'll see. Then, she walked back to her house. And we stood there. In pure, absolute horror. For the first few weeks, Ashley seemed normal. No fines. No complaints. No secret meetings. Then, things started happening. Random neighbors got letters about their lawn decorations. The HOA board received emails about concerns. An anonymous flyer appeared on every doorstep. Brookhaven, a community in decline? Are we maintaining high standards? Are we ensuring our property values remain strong? Maybe it's time to consider improvements. Linda held up the flyer. Did she just soft launch another HOA takeover? Tom groaned. This is hereditary tyranny. I sighed. All right. Time to shut it down before it starts. We called an emergency meeting. Ashley showed up, smiling. She looked calm. Like she had already won. The HOA president cleared his throat. Ms. Whitmore, we have concerns about these flyers. Ashley nodded. Oh! I just wanted to start a conversation. Tom whispered. That's how it starts. I folded my arms. Ashley, do you have any plans to run for HOA leadership? She tilted her head. Well, not officially. But if the community wants me to. Linda slammed her hands on the table. Oh my God, it's happening again. The HOA president sighed. Ms. Whitmore, due to historical concerns, we need to be very clear. Will you be pursuing any policy changes? Ashley smiled. Not right away. But eventually, we should discuss a few improvements. Tom clutched his chest. She's speaking in code. Then, I pulled out a document and slid it across the table. Ashley picked up the document. She read the title. Brookhaven Legal Restrictions on HOA Changes. Her smile wavered. I leaned forward. Ashley, let me be very clear. Your family has tried 7 times to take over this neighborhood. We have legally locked down every single HOA loophole. If you even attempt to reinstate HOA authority, we will shut you down before you start. Silence. Then, Ashley laughed. Wow, you guys really hate my family, huh? Tom blurted out. Yes, Linda nodded. With every fiber of our being. Ashley sighed. Well, guess I'll have to find another hobby. The HOA president smiled. That would be wise. And just like that, Ashley Whitmore's HOA dreams were over before they began. For good. After that meeting, Ashley gave up. She never ran for HOA. She never sent another flyer. She never tried to take over. The Whitmore era? Extinct. No HOA dictators. No fake policies. No Whitmore comeback attempts. And my security cameras? still standing. One evening, I sat on my back porch, beer in hand. Tom walked by, still suspicious. Think she's actually done? Linda folded her arms. She knows she can't win. We've fortified Brookhaven. James grinned. Legally speaking, no Whitmore can ever take power again. I raised my beer. To a Karen-free, Whitmore-free world. Brookhaven had been peaceful for nearly a decade. No HOA coups. No secret takeovers. No mysterious HOA letters. Ashley never ran for HOA leadership. She never tried to rewrite rules. She never pulled a Karen move. It seemed like the Whitmores were truly done. Until one night. My phone buzzed. Security alert. Motion detected. Front porch. I checked my camera feed. And there she was. Ashley Whitmore. Standing on my porch at 2 a.m. with a clipboard. I shook Tom awake. Bro. It's happening again. I opened the door. Ashley jumped. Oh! Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. I folded my arms. Ashley. It's 2 a.m. What are you doing? She laughed nervously. Oh, just community research. Linda and Tom appeared behind me, half asleep. Tom squinted. Is she taking measurements? Ashley hid her clipboard behind her back. Me? No, of course not. That would be. Linda snatched it from her hands. She flipped to the first page. Brookhaven Community Standards, suggested updates. Noise curfews after 7 p.m. Restrictions on porch furniture colors. Annual inspections for compliance. Linda gasped. She was planning another takeover. Tom grabbed the clipboard. Oh my God. She was going to ban certain mailbox styles. I turned back to Ashley. Explain. Now. Ashley sighed. Look, I wasn't going to do anything crazy. I was just preparing in case the opportunity ever arose. Tom groaned. They never stop. Linda folded her arms. Ashley, we have a literal law preventing this. I pointed at my security camera. You just got caught trespassing. At 2 a.m. On video. Again. Ashley winced. Okay. No more HOA plans. I promise. Tom muttered. We've heard that before. I sighed. Ashley, do you really want to be known as the last Whitmore who failed? She hesitated. Then sighed. No. I guess not. And just like that, she gave up. For real this time. The next morning, Ashley moved away. No announcement. No letters. No final attempt at a takeover. She left quietly. And with her, the last Whitmore presence in Brookhaven was erased. No HOA dictatorship. No fake policies. No Whitmore comeback attempts. And my security cameras? Still standing. One evening, I sat on my back porch, beer in hand. Tom walked up, shaking his head. Think we'll ever see another Whitmore? James laughed. Legally? Not a chance. Linda grinned. Brookhaven is officially Whitmore-proofed. I raised my beer. To a Karen-free, Whitmore-free world. For a full year, Brookhaven was finally Whitmore-free. No HOA dictatorships. No surprise takeovers. No suspicious midnight clipboards. We thought it was over. Then one morning, Tom knocked on my door, panicked. Dude, check your email. I pulled up my phone. And there it was. Subject, urgent community announcement. Dear homeowners, we are excited to introduce a new initiative to help maintain Brookhaven's prestige. Please join us for a special community meeting at the clubhouse. Sincerely, the Whitmore Homeowners Alliance. I nearly threw my phone. They're back? Linda ran up, holding her phone. This is worse than before. Tom rubbed his temples. Oh God. What now? Linda took a deep breath. The meeting? It's being hosted by a lawyer. I felt my soul leave my body. They've lawyered up? We went to the meeting. And sure enough, a lawyer in a fancy suit stood at the front. Good evening, homeowners. He pulled up a PowerPoint slide. Brookhaven Restoration Proposal. A new private HOA committee. Strict neighborhood compliance rules. A revamped HOA charter. Tom whispered. It's happening again. I stood up. Who exactly do you represent? The lawyer smiled. I'm working on behalf of the Whitmore estate. Linda groaned. How many of them are left? The lawyer flipped to the next slide. Executive sponsor, Eleanor Whitmore 2. I nearly fell out of my chair. Who the hell is Eleanor 2? Tom buried his face in his hands. It's a sequel. The lawyer continued. Ms. Whitmore believes Brookhaven has declined in quality. She is offering financial support to restore neighborhood standards. We simply need your signatures. Linda snorted. Oh, my God. It's a legal takeover. I folded my arms. Let me guess. If we sign, we're giving her control over the HOA. The lawyer smiled wider. That is one interpretation. Tom stood up. Brookhaven is not a monarchy. The HOA president cleared his throat. Sir, your proposal violates existing HOA laws. The lawyer tilted his head. But Ms. Whitmore has filed for a legal review. Silence. Then I grinned. You forgot something. We preemptively banned all Whitmores from HOA influence. That means your legal claim is void. The lawyer's smile disappeared. That's not possible. I pulled out a legal document. The Whitmore Exclusion Act of Brookhaven. The lawyer read it. His face fell. This completely blocks our initiative. Linda smirked. That's right. You lose. Tom crossed his arms. Take your PowerPoint and get out. The lawyer sighed. Ms. Whitmore will not be happy. Then he packed his briefcase and left. After the failed legal stunt, Eleanor Whitmore too disappeared. Her lawyers dropped the case. The Whitmore estate dissolved. Brookhaven's HOA remained intact. No HOA dictators. No legal loopholes. No Whitmore comeback attempts. And my security cameras? Still standing. One evening, I sat on my back porch, beer in hand. Tom walked by, shaking his head. Think there are any more Whitmores left? James laughed. Legally? Nope. Linda grinned. Brookhaven is officially Whitmore-proofed. I raised my beer. To a Karen-free, Whitmore-free world. Brookhaven was finally permanently safe. No HOA coups. No secret takeovers. No legal loopholes left for the Whitmores to exploit. Every single Whitmore was gone. The HOA stood strong. The neighborhood thrived. My security cameras? Still standing. One evening, I sat on my back porch, beer in hand, watching the sunset. Tom walked up, shaking his head. So, think this is finally it? I smirked. Oh yeah. This time? It's over. James grinned. I made sure of it. Linda laughed. Well, it only took multiple lawsuits, 7 failed coups, and an entire legal document banning them, but we finally did it. We all raised our drinks. To Brookhaven. To a Karen-free, Whitmore-free world. To finally winning. And with that, the Whitmore saga was over. For real. For good. Forever.